Welcome all to the Battle of the Bubble here, where a bunch of different teams from different conferences here in CLOL are going to be battling for better seeding at CLOL Nationals potentially, and even a spot in the National Championship via a vote-in from the committee. Just getting some extra tape on these teams, showing off what they can do kind of in the very last legs of this CLOL season before the national championships start up. I'm Ferris. This is my main man, DBZ Freak, and we're going to be casting 3 games for you all to start. Then we'll hand it off to Yanni and J Turbo later for a potential best of, depending on what we see in terms of these standings. DBZ, how you feeling, my man?
Woo-wee, I am excited. I am ready. I get to see some collegiate League of Legends, which I will admit, I've watched a little bit. I haven't watched that much. I'm going to be completely honest. I have to once again thank and shout out Grapes for, bringing me onto this broadcast. I've always been really curious about what this is all about. So glad that I get to have some firsthand experience in this tournament, specifically for the bubble. And what is that you said? It was for a spot for the national championship?
That's
what?
Right.
And I think these teams are definitely going to be vying for that spot. They're going to be definitely bringing all that they have to the table today to earn that spot. And I'm excited to see what these teams are going to be able to do. And it's going to be a good day. I hope everyone else is having a good Sunday as well. And we have a lot of things to talk about before we get into draft, don't we? Like a lot.
We do. Well, let's first actually just introduce this tournament here, talk a little bit about the teams that are going to be competing. We have the University of Southern Florida, we have UT Austin, we have University of California, Berkeley, Northeastern, and a couple teams actually leaving my mind right now. But we can pull up the bracketology, and I will actually end up remembering here all the teams that are performing. Pulling up the bracketology that Grapes has actually predicted for the CLOL National Championship. So essentially what this graphic is, for those that may not know, the teams highlighted in green are teams that have qualified for the National Championship. The top 4 from the regional conferences, the North, the South, the East, and the West. And the champions of the partner conferences, the one team in white, Grandview University, that is the one partner conference that still has yet to finish. They'll be taking on Purdue Northwest. The winner of that will get an auto bid to the national championship. And then you can see the vote-ins here. These are the teams that Grapes has predicted to be voted in by the committee. So we see strong teams, like some teams in the NACL, like Winthrop University, Fisher College, that is number 2 in the NECC. Northwood, a very strong team in the NECC as well. We'd expect these teams to be voted on in. And then we got a couple others potentially floating around here. But there isn't a lot of spots left, DBZ. There's only 9 left.
Yeah, 9 spots left for sure. And looking at the last 4 in, the first 4 out, and the next 4 out as well. I have to laugh a little bit because I live in Texas, so UT Austin being in for the first 4 out in coming out of the South Conference is kind of funny. So I might be a little biased today. I'm not gonna lie, being a little bit of a home team and all. So looking forward to see what they can do. Which, funny enough, they're one of the teams that we have playing in the bubble today. But kind of just looking over and. It's pretty cool to see all these things that are going on. And once again, we're getting a start in the upper bracket, start in the lower bracket from Grapes Bracketology once again. So as we see the classic Group A, Maryville, number 1. They're almost always number 1. You have UST and South 1, Ole Miss, and then Fisher as well. And then Group B, you see Winthrop, Illinois State, St. Clair, and UC Irvine. Group C, Group D, those are the 9 and 12 teams. And then from there, you have teams on the other side starting in the lower bracket. So the top 2 regional conferences are guaranteed a spot in the upper bracket. In the first round matchups, A versus D, B versus C, in the upper, E versus H, so on and so forth. So pretty fun, spicy matchup that we could potentially have coming up in the near future as we head towards the collegiate championship. And man, oh man. Look at what we got. Look at this. You see this right here? That's the bubble. These are the teams that we are going to be covering today. They have one last chance to show us what they can do, vying for one of those spots in the national championship. And here we go. So they're all the teams, by the way, Ferris. In case you're
exactly. I was dissing Purdue, and I think I was dissing San Jose State by that leaving my mind. But University of South Florida, Purdue, Northeastern, UT Austin, University of California, Berkeley, and San Jose State University. Now, 4 of these teams that being Purdue, USF, San Jose State, and UC Berkeley have already qualified to the national championship via either being top 4 in a regional conference, that being the case for USF and UC Berkeley, or being the champions of their partner conferences, that being the case for San Jose State in the Mountain West and Purdue in the ECAC as well. Now, big implications, though, for UT Austin, the 5th seed from the South Conference, and Northeastern, who finished number 2 in one of the partner conferences as well. A good performance here against some teams, some top teams that they may not have seen very often in their conferences. If they have good showings here at DBZ, then the committee might be inclined to give them one of those 8 vote-in spots available. So you can see in Group E, Group G, Group H, and Group F, again, this is Grapes bracketology. These are what Grapes sort of predicts may end up happening in terms of the seeding of the 32 teams. We can see San Jose State in Group G, number 1 from the Mountain West. We see South Florida up in Group E. We see UC Berkeley, Group F as well. Purdue in the mix as well as all of that. So these teams that we have playing today, DBZ, floating around that lower bracket area. And any sort of move up in terms of the seedings, well, at least for the teams that aren't in, also just getting the chance to be in this tournament. But for the teams that are already in, a better seed means an easier opponent. And you never know. We do love an underdog story at Nationals. So they'll be fighting for pretty much any type of advantage that they could possibly get. As we should now take a look at the schedule for what we have going on for this, for today.
All right. So you guys see, got the round 1, we got USF and then Longhorn Gaming going on in the first match. We are going to be covering San Jose State versus UC Berkeley. That's the one that we are going to be covering for round 1. And then you have Northeastern versus Purdue as the final game for that one. And we'll update things as the day goes along. You see round 2, we'll be covering Longhorn Gaming versus Purdue. And then round 3 will be, I believe that is San Jose versus Northeastern, if I'm thinking correctly. Logos are escaping me right now. See, now I'm doing it. You gave it to me. Now I'm the one that's forgetting who is who, but that's okay. You know what? We're locking in. We're gonna lock in. We're locking in, guys. We're gonna lock in. But it's an exciting schedule that we have ahead of us for the day. As mentioned at the start, it is going to be 3 games, 3 best of 1s. Then it'll be a best of 3 after we're done here. That will be going to our 2 lovely other casters that we will have on later today. Now let's roll it in. Let's bring it to the first game: San Jose State versus UC Berkeley. So we have things that we have to talk about, specifically when it comes to that game in particular. Now, San Jose State University, they are the kings of the Mountain West Conference. They were undefeated. They dropped only 1 game all season. Evan plus Winter are the best players on this team, and it's a big chance for San Jose State to show what they can do versus a high caliber that is ranked nationally. Now, on the other side, you have the University of California, Berkeley. They actually had a pretty good run. They're number 3 in the West. They're ranked 21 nationally. They fell in the lower bracket final to Weber State, which I also believe, funny enough, that Weber State had they did a tournament yesterday and they went undefeated in it. So unsurprisingly, that's a pretty solid team. But they have a chance to solidify themselves as a top 12 team. So looking forward to see what they can do. As we can see the roster on the screen. And apparently they've started a draft right now, so we don't even get to talk about who's on what team. So we're going to go ahead and skip ahead onto that as we're getting started with the picks and bans. We're kind of flying through with some good old top lane bans. The Rumble being taken off the table. That's pretty classic nowadays. And you have Investa also being taken off the table as well. From here, it's like ban either meta picks or comfort picks. And it looks like we're going to go ahead and ban with comfort. So that's why the Rengar is being taken off the table. And I'm kind of thinking, like, what do we do in terms of like first picks here? Because there is a lot of things that could be picked. We're really heavily focusing on the top side of the map in terms of bans. But really curious to see what Cal will decide to do in terms of like a first pick. Maybe they decide they want to first pick an AD carry, like either the Ashe was sort of falling out of priority. You might even see a support first pick or a jungle first pick. I think that these two teams, with how many times they probably played against each other, have definitely come across the gameplay and is, hey, we're getting rosters right there. That's what I'm talking about right there. So in the top lane, you have we're just flying through the rosters. Just kidding. You know what? That's okay. We'll go ahead and get back to them later. But Ferris, what are you looking forward to when out of these drafts from these two teams?
Well, Went and Evan, again, I think these two are champ players, as you can see, jungle and mid laner for San Jose State University. You can see Rumble on the picture there for Went. I mean, that's the reason the Rumble was banned away. This guy's basically a
Mhm.
Rumble OTP. He's got so many Rumble games. So that's going to be taken away for this game for sure. The Rengar ban in
Ooh.
respect to Evan. As I would think that they might want to go for the first pick Varus here for Imp2O. I think that's just a solid pickup. It's something Imp2O does like to play for Cal Berkeley's side. The Amumu would definitely surprise me. But the Pantheon Hover made sense. Dark Ward is someone who does like to play that pick. Has the profile picture again, as you can see. Thankful to production for putting this on the screen as DBZ and I were yapping on through all the bracketology and stuff. We can see the rosters that we have in there for us. And the Pantheon going to be that first pick. Aggression for California Berkeley. They want to get things started off as fast as they can and put San Jose State down before they can start rolling themselves. And I think that's a good strategy here because it is San Jose State who is, again, that underdog. As Casante locked in, and Asol, again, when Rumble is banned away, Went is always playing that Asol, so locking in that essential second comfort, I guess you could say, because Rumble's always banned against this guy.
Definitely agree with you on that one. So we're gonna kind of run down. So Pantheon first pick, that's definitely a testament to we are trying to like push the early game as hard as we can, kind of snowball the lead. And I'm assuming with other picks probably coming through that we'll see maybe they want to go for more of an early game or late game style comp. But as I say that, they pick Victor, who has lots of scaling. So this game is looking to potentially go late. The problem with that on the other side for San Jose, they have Casante and Aurelion Sol, who are also disgustingly hard scaling champions. Asol, when he gets excruciatingly fed, is just impossible to kill and does tons of damage. Casante is Casante, so I'll just leave it at that for now. But looks like that UCal is going to go ahead and take their time right now, decide what they want to do for their final pick. They're going to go ahead and go for, oh, that's spicy. I like that. Oh, yes, I love Fiora into Casante. It's kind of a hands check because he always has to answer her in a side lane. She can just kind of roam wherever she wants, and then he has to be there. Otherwise, she just takes their whole base for free. So seeing what UC Berkeley have in mind for their comp right now is kind of nice. They're like, all right, let's leave our top laner alone. Juicebox, go have fun, do your own thing. We'll force plays everywhere else in the map where Casante cannot answer. So that is actually, I think, a really good idea of a comp here. And there's the Varus, like you mentioned, going to go ahead and get picked up. So it looks like that a Sneaky Joker is going to go ahead and be kind of comfortable on that one. Funny enough, both 80 carries play it, so either way it was probably going to happen anyways. But now, as we get to the second phase of bans, we probably will see support bans, I would assume, being taken off the table. Maybe 80 carry bans from San Jose as they take off the Tristana. So I think we're going to see maybe support bans from UC Berkeley, and San Jose will stick with 80 carry bans.
The Tristana ban is smart. This champion is just disgusting right now, not only in mid lane, but also in bot lane too. So even when mid lane is shown for UC Berkeley, the San Jose has to pay that respect and take that one away. You could see from the first bans that we had, the Camille and the Ambessa, it's the reason why they were taking these picks away. They wanted the Casante there for Kevye. But, you know, Juicebox is that carry player, is going to take the Fiora. That's going to be the exciting pick up there is aggressive marksman being taken off the board for San Jose State's side. I'm very interested when we do get into the next round of picks, and you can see the Udyr band targeted potentially towards Evan Lai there in the jungle, and Evan Lai himself, carry-oriented jungler, or kind of like all over the place in my eyes. This guy can play some tame stuff like Ivern and support his team. Other times he's playing Urgot jungle or Rengar, which hence the reason why the Rengar was banned away, and he's just going crazy looking to carry the game and carry his team alongside Went as that mid-jungle 2v2. So I'm really anticipating to see what Evan does actually want to pull out here with the composition San Jose State has.
Do they pick right now or do they pick support? That is the question. Now, I was wrong. I thought California Berkeley would go ahead and ban away supports. Nope, they banned straight junglers, but they're going to go ahead and save the R5 for jungles. So we get the Karma that's going to be picked up for San Jose. So we almost have the comp kind of rounded out right now. Arguably, this Pantheon hilariously could be a flex pick. However unlikely that is, as you mentioned, Dark Lord loves this pick, so it's not likely that that's going to be coming through. Rel is still an option, as we see Lincoln Rock does like to play, so could pick Rel if they wanted to, maybe pick another enchanter themselves if they decide to. There's really lots of options of what they could go for right now, but they're going to go ahead and pick their 80 carry. That is the Ezreal, safe pick, also strong scaling as well, has a lot of safety to get away from things like the Casante or the Aurelion Sol as well. And assuming we're not taking cleanse, it's just ways to get out of the chain of corruptions away from the Ezreal, not the Ezreal, from the Varus. But they're going to go ahead, go with their last pick here, the Leona. That makes a lot of sense. I was getting ready to say maybe some form of engage is going to come through. I think I even you or I put in our notes that like the Lincoln loves to play like engage support. So this pick kind of makes a lot of sense. And now the moment of truth. What is Evan going to play? It is we have anything pretty much that could be really hilarious and cool in the jungle that's open right now. You might maybe Kha'Zix or Vola. Okay, well, there's Volibear right before I was even allowed to say it. So the Volibear is going to be picked up. As you saw, that Evan has it as their profile picture on the graphic there. So they will be going ahead and picking that up. So this Volibear is going to have quite the job ahead of them, I would say. There is a lot of nonsense on California Berkeley's side. And by nonsense, I mean you have Victor being a champion once he gets 25 minutes and has 2 items. You have Fiora doing Fiora things, and Pantheon being able to set up literally anyone around the map if he's able to have any moment of agency around the map. So San Jose, not saying that they have a tough job ahead of them, but their comp that they're playing against is annoying to play against, if that makes sense.
It's going to be a lot on this bot lane 2 versus 2. That's what I'm looking at, because Ezreal Leona can be very aggressive. Same thing can be said for Varus and Karma. The the solo laners for San Jose State, that being Went and Kevy, they really just want to, well, unless Asol wants to scale, Cassante wants to just survive in this Fiora lane, try and stay within 10-15 CS, hold the split push. That's all he really has to do. And then the dive potential here, Evan Lai, again, they held the last pick for the jungle. So this Volibear had a lot of time to kind of cook up in their minds as to what they actually wanted to pick here. So I really am anticipating Evan Lai to get active in the early game. Level 6 Stormbringer, look for dives on certain lanes. Bot lane especially, the Karma should have a good time into the Leona with the range advantage that she has. And if you can get this bot lane ahead, that can buy time to bridge into that late game there for San Jose State. But even on the other side, Cal Berkeley, they've got picks like the Victor, like the Fiora in the side lane. They're going to be playing more of that 4 versus 4, that skirmish style. And I expect they're going to be playing down towards that bot side as well. Dark Lord, if you can protect the Ezreal, protect the Leona, those are some great champions early on for him to play with. I think the junglers here, they're going to be the focal points for these teams early on, and it's going to be very important what they can get done.
Now, the one thing I will say that is the caveat to UC Berkeley's comp, you could argue that, yes, they have somewhat of a front line. Pantheon, depending on what build that Dark Lord decides to go for, could be that bruisery style of build or Eclipse until maybe just straight damage. It really depends. But Leona's really the only front line that they have. On the other side of San Jose, they have Cassante. Need I say more? They also have Volibear as well. The caveat to that is you have a squishy support. But with those two, if Volibear and Cassante get to a point where they become unkillable, this is going to be hard for UC California, or for UC Berkeley rather. So that's something that they're going to have to keep in mind. So they have to snowball this game pretty fast, I would say, in order for before these 2 tanks become absolute super tanks and not able to kill them. Because yes, you have the Fiora Vital procs. It does get a little bit of true damage off every here and there, but it's not going to be enough to fight a Volibear and a Cassante if they are full tank. Now, Victor, like you mentioned, going to be really strong. He's going to do his own thing. Be annoying in the mid lane. Once Aurelion Sol and him kind of get to those really crucial item breaks, I think that these 2 mid laners can dictate fights over the course of this game. I'm also curious what the Varus build is going to be, because we have multiple different Varus builds that end up coming out at this point. It could be either the on-hit build or the lethality build. So if we're thinking that maybe we need him to start doing a little more damage than he should be and not really poking out, and probably go more for the on-hit build. But I anticipate, because really only the Leona is the front line, that it probably is going to be the lethality Varus build to kind of garner that extra bit of poke, and Karma down there too, just poking people out. And then from there, Asol and Cassante maybe just clean up the rest of the fights from there. So I'm not too concerned about San Jose's comp right now. I think it kind of depends on how it's executed when we actually get into game is to when I'll probably give a more definitive how I feel about it. But right now, I'm holding my reservations because I want to see what they have planned for the first few minutes of this game. But Varus, we've been yapping for a little bit. It's almost game time. Are you excited? Because I'm excited.
It is almost game time. I'm hyped to see this. Again, the stakes about this game, San Jose State, they were the champions of the Mountain West. And like you said, DBZ, the kings of that conference, they really weren't challenged at all. They only dropped a single game. And so playing against teams from some of the regional conferences who have had reps against some better teams, and UC Berkeley, who is actually ranked on the CLOL Hub Top 25, this is going to be a big test for them. And there is going to be a lot of committee members paying attention to these games, watching this, trying to get a better understanding of how good can San Jose State actually be when they are put up against a lot better players that do have more reps against better teams. So big stakes here for this one. Again, Berkeley, you could definitely say is that favorite just based on the where they finished in the regional conference, the competition these two teams are playing against. And both teams, again, if we talk a little bit more about these drafts, pick compositions, that's the way that I see it long range there. If it is going to be that poke fest, like you talked about, DBZ, then it's going to have to be San Jose State to play off of some quick CC, a stun from the Volley Bear, maybe Wentz jumping on in with Skies Descend, get the Chains of Corruption down, play the 4v5 that way. And a very similar thing for U Berkeley, because they have the Leona, they have the Pantheon, they have the Poke from the Ezreal, the lasers from the Victor, and Fiora doesn't really provide a whole lot when it comes to engage. I think she is just going to be playing that side lane against the Cassante, creating pressure elsewhere on the map. It's going to be, I feel like in a lot of these fights, DBZ, a wet noodle fight between these two. They're going to be throwing skill shots at each other back and forth, and then one person's going to pull the trigger. It's likely going to be Lincoln Rock on this Leona, a flash from Dark Lord on the Pantheon. And again, execution, like you said, when it comes to these types of compositions, execution matters. One missed skill shot, missed time, your target gets away. It's going to kind of blow up everything you want to come out of this game right in your face.
I definitely agree with you. We have a fun little tidbit I'm going to add. So Grapes was mentioning earlier that Zachary, who is on UCal Berkeley, who I believe is, I think that's their 80 carry, I think. And the jungler Evan, like, we're best friends growing up in like middle school and high school. So there's a little bit of a grudge match going on for this game. And that is hilariously exciting, meaning these two players are going to lay it on the line for this game, or even reading for the day, rather. So it's kind of like, all right, we're about to find out who's better. I'm better. You're better. Nah, my team is going to be better than yours. That's the kind of matchup that we have going on today. Now, I have zero idea if we're going to wait on spec delay and break, or if we're just going to keep on yapping through. So either way, I'm looking forward. So I just told we're going to keep yapping. So I'm going to keep on yapping. So in that time, for now, with that little bit of a grudge matchup that we have setting up for this game, that makes this first game all that much more exciting. I hope I have no qualms as to how this game is going. Like, I have no like, oh man, I prefer this team to win over that team to win. No, like normally I do in most of my brackets. Like, I like this draft better, I like that draft better. But no, I'm excited for both of these drafts because both of them have really good things that they can both do. And just the execution, like he said, just excited to see how that goes. I'm really curious, like what the game plan is in terms of like objectives, you know, with the Grubs and the Drake. Because are we going to get the classic trade from the two, or are we going to be like get one right on spawn, or in this case, Dragon at 5, so get Dragon right on spawn, immediately rotate top at 6 for those first sets of Grubs, or is it just nope? We're just going to fight the whole game. You know, we've been watching the LPL the past couple of weeks. Let's just keep fighting, you know, no big deal. I'm just not going to casually slide, you know, the LPL in there because I've been watching a lot of it the past couple of days. So, you know, just having lots of fun on the side. But Ferris, we're going to do our game. We're going to do our Dragon Soul game. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Also, I'm just being told that there was a pause. So there was a pause. Oh, nope. Wait, pause. There was no pause. All right, we're going into the game. I'm just kidding. But let's go ahead. We're going into this first game between University of California, Berkeley versus San Jose State University. Didn't get a chance to do our Drake Soul prediction, but that is okay as we are going onto the rift for this very first game. Looks like that we're going to go ahead and get mostly a 4.5 point stance. I say 4.5 because topside is where we really have all of our stances happening, and Ezreal is going to that bottom tower. But it's just kind of posturing right now, not expecting too much, maybe trade divisions here and there. And Evan's actually walking in here. We'll be spotted by Dark Lord and get a little bit of poke down, but not too much will come out of that. They will just go ahead and walk away. But man, oh man, feels good to be on the rift now as we do finally get that Raptor Ward going down. And Ferris, let's get this party started.
Let's get it started. I actually haven't seen the Drake yet, so I'm just going to go wait 5 seconds. Chemtech, that's going to be my prediction. You go right now. 3 seconds.
All right, Cloud Soul. Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Okay.
That's what we're going for.
And Kai is going to reveal this for us. Mountain is the start. Okay, so both of us are actually in a good spot right now. We haven't actually had our Drake removed off rip. That was the one too, where if you predicted it off rip and it was the first Drake, that's you get kind of shamed in that way. So we avoided the shame in our Drake Soul prediction game. But onto the rifts. Here we go. Teams are ready. And honestly, you talked about, I don't know who to favor with these compositions here. I do say, I do like the California University composition a little bit better just because they have the really nice topside matchup. They do have the ability to punish the Aurelian Soul as well, who is going to be a lot weaker early on, and they have the early game of the Pantheon to fight around the grubs, which is another thing I think they're definitely going to want to contest within that conversation, just because Juicebox on this Fiora with 6 grubs in hand, if that's the perfect scenario for Cal Berkeley, I mean, dude, those towers are going to be gone like paper.
Yeah. Oh man, they're going to be absolutely gone like paper. And real quick before we kind of talk about what the stakes are, state of the game, whatnot. There is that ward that will see Evan on these Raptors. So thank you for that toggle, observers. Love it when you guys do that. But this is a lethal tempo that we are seeing on the Varus. So this will be an on-hit Varus that we will see in this game as Juicebox is doing. I'm not even going to call it Proxy. I'm going to call it the Baus, because you know what? That's what Baus does mostly more than anyone else other than Cinch players, obviously. But right here, this is the classic, you push a wave in, you be annoying, like, all right, gonna go ahead, proxy the wave, clear that out, reset, come back. And that's just what you do on this champion. It's very annoying, but at the same time, it's really a weird way of drawing attention to yourself as well, because Fiora kind of thrives in these 1v1 scenarios. Now, in this case, when you have a Volibear and a Cassante, when she gets that parry, she can completely turn a fight on its head. So something that they're going to need to keep in mind about not letting this Fiora get a little aggressive here. And Went is currently taking a lot of damage from this Victor, but that's kind of what happens. You get the laser, like, oh, okay, cool, the laser's happening, blah, blah, blah. Just kind of keep trading back and forth until you get, I think it's like level 5, and when you get part of an item is when you can start clearing that back wave with the, is it still called the Singularity? I actually do not remember off the top of my head. But from there, Evan is going to go ahead and clear their full top side, or clear their whole jungle. Now moving towards the top side, probably going towards that first scuttle, knowing that the Pantheon is going to be down there as they see him on that ward that is there. Go ahead, get that reset, blah, blah, blah. We're having some fun. Evan's going to take the scuttle, and I assume go top side. I was just saying, Fiora could potentially turn a fight, has only about half of her mana right now, as she's going to go ahead and spot Evan, will go ahead and just walk away. Oh, getting the flashing of the emote, I respect it, but not too much to come out of this, and I guess something to come out of this.
Well, Juicebox wants the 2 versus 1, or is at least just wasting the time. I want to say I didn't like the early proxy angle from Juicebox, because like you said, the 1 versus 1 is where the Fiora is going to thrive here. Fiora wants to kill Cassante. I mean, she does outscale, even if it just does end up being a even CS lane where a couple plates go Fiora's way. I feel like when you're here, the Vital is pointing towards you like it is on Kevy. This is the spot you want to be at. The wave is pushing now back into Juicebox, so now Kevy has to be careful of a Pantheon and think about where he's at on the map. So, I mean, it did end up working out. He was a little bit lower HP and didn't end up getting punished by the gank. So it is going to be still a very good spot for Juicebox in this lane. And good start for Cal Berkeley. Overall, if the Fiora is doing well, then they're pretty happy as... Yeah, Stinky and Mock, they're getting really aggressive here in this lane. Potential solo kill here in the top side as we pan all the way over. Flash burned by Kevy, and I like the discipline here from Juicebox, not going to use a flash of his own, so now it's going to be that advantage in his back pocket.
I'm not gonna lie, if it was me, I probably would have gone for it and died, so respect for Juicebox for not going for that. It is the flash that gets out of Kevy on that play, so has the flash advantage, can shove this wave in, reset, most likely won't even have to TP back, so we'll go ahead and save that. I don't think they're spotted on that ward. No, I don't believe so. So I think... No, they were not. Okay, wow. So they were not spotted on that ward. I mean, they probably had the idea they were going to reset anyway, so it's kind of whatever. But coming through, that is the Tiamat that does allow this Fiora to be that annoying split pusher because she can just clear waves so fast. And we're going to go ahead and get a reset real quick. You know what? It's all right. We're good. We're good. No one saw that. No one saw that. Ignore it. Ignore it. You didn't see that thing. Don't worry about it. Now, as I was saying, that Tiamat is absolutely huge for Fiora because it lets you clear waves much faster than anyone else can in the game. You just go Q, you proc it, and we're getting the Drake here, and it might be a fight actually. The Darkwood is here. The Q spike takes never mind.
Walking on up, he gets hit by a Mantra Q, and he might be in some trouble. He denies a whole lot of damage, but it's going to be the first life.
Ah, he's alive!
From Leona, and again, but Ezreal goes in as well. Itzwo's gonna drop 3-0. SJSU around the Drake. California Berkeley thought they had the chops to fight that one out. They most definitely did not, relying on Dark Lord to do that solo frontline. He ends up dropping the Drake resets, but San Jose State University come out on top in the early skirmish.
And not only that, they secured the feats of warfare with that one as well, getting all 3 of those kills. They're now up 1,000 gold. The crucial part was Went was the first one on the move there. Actually, they might make a play. There are 3 people going to be in mid here in a second, but the Mountain Drake is going to go over to the side of San Jose. And looks like that Went got out of that play, so never mind. All right, so they just casually walk out of that one and escape, so good for them on that. But like I said, prior to that, what the fighting factor was that Went was able to roam over first before the victor. So when you had your mid laner there, that's what would turn the fight in favor of them. Now, man, Evan is so close to dying, and then the Ezreal tried to secure the kill with the flash. I respect the attempt, but unfortunately this doesn't go through. The trade, of course, are the grubs are going to fall on the top side of the map, so that is the 3 grubs for them. Now, you have Avaris with 2 kills, and an Aurelion Soul with 1 kill. So, that is something that that Cal are going to have to keep in mind. So Berkeley are going to be looking to recover after that little bit of fight, kind of keep up this farm. The top lane is winning anyway, so I think if you kind of just let her do her own thing and try to avoid bringing her down to any of these fights, let her just force answers into her, and they can kind of keep going with their game plan, which is let Fiora be annoying and the rest of the team is moving, as Aurelion Soul is spotted on 2 wards.
Oh, here comes
He's
Glenn.
going
to get involved in this play, and that's going to protect Kevy from getting solo kills. And I think that's something we actually haven't talked about a whole lot when it comes to the mid lane matchup, is the fact that Went on Aurelion Soul, he can cross the terrain. He can roam to these lanes a whole lot better than Fitz can on the Victor. And there, saving his top laner, unfortunately, it didn't even actually knock me down this before, but Fox is getting a little bit cocky here, I guess you could say, but clears the wave, walks on out. That timeout again, doing so much. But the top lane matchup is the sort of the beacon of hope, the silver lining for Cal Berkeley after that disastrous play that happened around the Drake. 2 kills on the Varus. It is actually going on hit, which may or may not be a smart choice here, because I think, again, back to our conversation about how these fights might play out, they're going to happen quickly. It's be difficult for the Varus to get in range and actually get some of those auto attacks off, but they're having a good time bot lane here, DBZ. They're constantly applying pressure. The Ezreal is down 10 CS. They could be setting up for a dive. Evan is in the area. He's sweeping it out. He does have Stormbreaker, but now he's going to be spotted. Dark Lord's in the area. He should be okay for now.
I think if they decided to go for the play, they don't think they saw Dark Lord there, but I think if they had the inkling that was going to happen, it's like, well, Pantheon can be here because by now he should be 6. I do think because of all the lockdown that is available for UC Berkeley, that they would be able to turn that play in their own favor. So honestly, smart choice to not go for it. Ezreal's also really slippery. Like, maybe you kill the Leona, but at the end of the day, it's not really worth it. So they'll go ahead, push this wave in. Looks like the Karma was going to get a reset. I imagine she just hit the wards. She's going to go ahead, go back, do her own thing, get ready to get some of this vision. Now on the other side, you have UC Berkeley trying to shove this in for themselves, so that way they can also get a reset. You Dark Lord kind of hovering too. Okay, I thought they were going to do something cheeky, but never mind. They opted out of doing that.
Yeah, the Grand Starfall is available for Dark Lord, so now San Jose State, they have to be on high alert when it comes to where they are in these lanes. Even if they have wards in their brushes, the Pantheon can spawn on top of your face at any moment. So I want to see Dark Lord getting involved on the map here as he fits in some trouble, as Mock has found his way around on the flank. There isn't a ton of damage overloading onto him, but now there is.
Pantheon's here.
Grand Starfall. Went's gone too far forward. He's going to drop the kill, is going to go over to Fitz, and Mock is out of position as well. Dark Lord grabs the kill credit. Excellent counter punish here from UCal Berkeley, and that is going to net them 2 kills, working their way back after what happened earlier, now ahead in gold.
Yeah, part of that's also because of the top CS lead as well, and the plates that have gone down. And just like we said, well, that Grand Starfall is available, and guess what happens? Oh, Spitz might be in danger here, but the Leona is here, so nothing should come out of that. There is a TP to follow. I don't imagine that much of a play will come out of that. But yeah, back to that play from just a couple of moments ago is the moment we said, hey, Grand Starfall's available. What happens? We suddenly have a Pantheon in the lane. lane, and Stubborn Cold will go ahead and go off. But once that was there, they gave the kill over to Fitz as well, which I say is very crucial because you want this Victor to scale into this game. So with that extra kill and getting that gold, they are now pretty much even with this Aurelion Soul. And then as well, also Pantheon getting a kill is also nice, you know, especially if you're building Bruiser. But the next set of grubs are spawning right now. Looks like there's going to be no real answer for it as he has really his bot lane. Your Pantheon is mid, but I don't think they can really fight for it right now. I think it's probably trying to get some mid lane trial for this next Drake. It is a Chemtech Drake that is coming up in the next 20 seconds, so I think that's the game plan. Like, give up the grubs. We got 3. It's fine. A little bit of true damage on the PR won't hurt. They would have liked to have had the 4th one, I guess, but, you know, they're going to go ahead and try to make a play on this Varus instead.
Sneaky has to be careful. If I'm Imtur, I'm pushing this wave right now. They're actually just going to drop the Solar
dead.
Flare. The True Shot Barrage hits as well. Here comes the Spear. That's going to connect. And Dark Lord will grab that kill. Nice cross-map play. Outside of UC Berkeley. As well, Lens and Mock in the area, trying to prevent maybe the Chrom from going down, protecting Evan Lai's jungle. And again, Grubs went down. Drake is now alive. The rest of SJSU is here in the area. They look like they want to try and contest this, but I don't think it's a wise choice considering you do not have your AD carry. He's just going to be spawning in the fountain now. They're going to give this one up. And solid cross map play for Berkeley. And for San Jose State side, again, they have 3 kills from the earlier Drake play, but I'd honestly like to see them now, especially Evan, who hasn't been able to get a whole lot done in these lanes. A bit more proactivity come out for them. Again, they are scaling in the mid lane. It's kind of hard to make plays around top side here. But I feel like if UC Berkeley don't end up making any more of those mistakes like they made earlier, their proactivities looked a whole lot better here. They're kind of taking control of this map.
I feel you 100% on that one. They were down gold earlier, UC Berkeley, but now they're up in gold. It isn't much, granted, but it's a good start, I would say. And kind of what I was mentioning earlier is that San Jose had to like snowball this lead like very quickly, very early. So after those 3 kills, they should have continued rather pushing that advantage forward. But unfortunately, they just have not been able to do that. The answers from UC Berkeley have been honestly very good from whenever they tried to make a play, and I have to say, and that's kind of what we expected when we saw this draft, I think, for the side of UC Berkeley. But we're 13 minutes into the game right now. I wouldn't say exactly it's a quote-unquote lull. I imagine we're going to slow down a little bit until the Rift Herald comes up in the next about 2.5 minutes. So that is something that we'll be looking to, depending on whoever gets mid lane control. I imagine that this Rift Herald play is going to go in favor of who, and this is just like a general statement, this is going to go in favor of whoever gets the most mid lane prio first in this instance, because the turret plates are falling off about 7 seconds from now. So with that in mind, if there is more of a mid lane prio coming through, if we're getting a play on the bot side as the Volibear was sprinting that way, but I don't think anything will come out of that. We haven't talked about top as much, real quick. The Hydra is done for the Fiora, Bramble Vest for the Cassante. That's pretty much the extent of how that match is going, but it is getting a lot of good trading down as the Gravity Well will stop win. Now, we have the upgraded ultimate on the A-Soul. Probably going to hold on to that for this next fight, and I'm thinking over the course of the next couple of minutes that this game might blow up depending on whoever pulls the trigger first.
It's going to be interesting. Again, we have 1.5 minutes to go before the Herald is. Evan Lai was spotted. I think Fitz knows he's here, and they also have that control ward down there, which is also going to be spotted.
They're going to collapse onto
Evan
him.
Lai has to be careful. We could see potentially a solar flare come out. That is going to happen. The stun does not go down. The slow is there. I guess Cuddly Kraken not going to find the stun, not going to find the play. First tower goes down there for Juice Box. And that will mean that we're just waiting on those feats of monster slaying between these two teams. It's actually at 2-2. The feats of strength have not gone down to either side. Again, remember, it was San Jose State who got the quick 3 kills. They got the feats of warfare. Now Juicebox has secured the turret destruction, I guess, feat of strength.
I think that's what it's called, yeah.
I don't know if that's actually what it's called, but I'm just going to call it that. The one where you get first tower, that goes to UC Berkeley, 2-2 on the monster slaying, which puts a lot of extra priority on this Rift Herald. Not only is it just the Herald itself, but you get that little upgrade on your boots. And well, both of these teams are going to be enjoying that if they are able to pick that up. And right now, it's UCal that is going to be having the better priority thus far with control over this river.
I definitely agree with you. And that's the Fiora classic. You just be annoying, push waves, hit tower, take first tower, or a tower. That's just what Juicebox has been doing the whole game. It is no kills in the top lane. Cassante has not been able to get involved in anything because he's been so pushed in the entirety of the game. And look, now Juicebox is just in the bottom lane. That's just what you do as a Fiora player. If you take the one of the towers, in this case of the outer tower in one of the lanes, you just rotate somewhere, go somewhere else. But we have Rift Herald on the map right now. We have Went and Mock walking up. This could be dangerous as this is pretty dark up here. The Fiora is on the bot side, so they should be aware that it's just Victor, as they're actually going to make a play on to Fitz.
Fitz has to be careful. Is the stun going to go off? It is not. Evan is going to kind of pincer him around the alcove, though, but that's a good grab. He's going to find the stun on the volley bear. The team is here as well, and they're just going to jump onto Evan Lai, who pops like a balloon. Out of position is Kevy as well. The all-out buys some space, but it's 2 kills to the Pantheon. Imtuo is going to continue the chase. Grand Starfall is actually coming out. They're looking for the play onto Mox, who's going to get the blast cone over the wall, but the flash follow from Dark Lord will continue the play, looking to drop down this Karma. Mock has nowhere to go. The solar flare goes down onto Went as well. He
the flash!
Can he find the blast cone? He can. Dark Lord wants this kill so bad. He actually kind of wasted a little bit of time here, losing his HP.
My God.
Tower's going to be taken elsewhere. Now Dark Lord has to be careful because Went still holding on to that Sky's Descent, lingering in the area, but you see Berkeley come out on top on that skirmish, and they're looking for that Herald next.
A 2-0. They will reset instead of getting the Herald. The next Drake is up in the next 5 seconds, so I think they're going to prioritize that instead. In the meantime, while all of that was going on, you had Juicebox doing Fiora things, took that bot lane tier 1 that is currently destroyed on the map. So once again, more gold into this Fiora. Real quick, if at all possible, can we toggle gold? Yeah, that's what. Oh my God, that is almost a 2,000 gold lead for this Fiora, just off of CS and towers alone. This is one strong top laner as we're getting the resets coming through, as the Drake is the next option on the map. As looks like we might have another fight here.
Yeah, well, Cuddly Kraken is in some trouble. There's a whole lot of people corralling them right now, and they are going to drop. Dark Lord might be the next target again. Does not have the flash. Used it earlier, and he is going to drop as well. 2 kills go back to San Jose State, catching UC Berkeley out of position around the Drake, and once again, they're in position to punish.
And we had to have Kevy go and answer that top wave that was being pushed in, but crucially, just an overstep from Cuddly Kraken, just walking up just slightly too far, as we're not done yet.
Wow, they found an engage here. Mock with the Munch.
Oh my God, the damage!
The flank down. Fitz is trying to find the kill into Wen. It's not going to be enough. The damage from the piercing arrow. Stinky is doing a whole lot there. Arcane shift away. M2O is going to be able to escape. Kill number 6 for SJSU. They get the Drake on top of it. They're sieging the tier 1 tower in the mid lane. Cuddly Kraken is back from the fountain, as you're right. Feats of strength. Again, Rift Herald in the previous play did not go down to UC Berkeley's way. So SJSU getting a whole flurry of wins in that exchange that just went down.
Woo, we got to start all the way at the beginning for that one. Yoink, as Evan just smites that away. But we got to start back at that whole chain of events that went down. So we're going to start back with just the overstep from Cuddly Kraken just being too far forward. And then Dark Lord not having the flash ends up giving that shutdown over. I think that shutdown went to the Varus. No. I actually don't know who the shutdown went over to. It might have been the Went, actually. But just a lot of gold pretty much going over. There it is. Varus got the Victor shutdown. Aurelion Sol got the Pantheon shutdown. All right, cool. So the 2 carries getting lots of injection of gold, which is absolutely huge for SJSU. Now they do lose the Rift Herald. Who cares, though? The beats of strength were already claimed by them. So they're in a really good position. The gold is still 1,000 down, but that's purely because of Fiora. And right now, Fitz might be in danger here in a second.
He does have to be careful. The Hexgate was used as here comes the Starfall, but that's not really going to connect. Mock is going to be in some trouble here. He's trying to run away, trying to survive, burns the flash. Cuddly Kraken is here. Support combat might commence. Zenith Blade goes wide, gets the shield, going to be stunned up. The rest of the squad is just going to ditch, bro. Mock will go down, but it is support for mid laner, and there's some proactivity from San Jose State. That's what I wanted to see. That is what we're getting, starting to ramp up here, and also at the right time, right when we're seeing Went start to hit a couple item spikes, right when Stinky as well, working towards that Rage Blade, is going to hit a big power spike too. So in a good spot is San Jose State. They're taking it to UC Berkeley right now. Again, the Fiora really the only massive problem that they still have to try and assess.
Yeah, and that's kind of why, like, I'm not like overly like, oh, the gold lead, blah blah blah. It's kind of fake because of Juice Box, but we're not
Well,
done.
they're about to solve the problem right now. Juicebox has to use the flash. He mistimes the parry. Evan flashes forward.
Nice.
Piercing arrow is acquired by Stinky.
Wow.
He gets the shutdown. Grand Starfall's jumping on in, and Dark Lord is trying to peel for the rest of his team, but he has not long left for this world. He's going to go down very quickly as Evan is running up in the front line. The bear just does not stop. Kevyi and Went are going forward as well. Fitz just has to watch as the rest of his team falls, and SJSU, this mid game has been impeccable. They knocked down the mid lane tier 1. They're looking great at 21.
A rough early game, but an absolutely amazing mid game. This is also why they are undefeated in the Mountain West Conference. Just like we said at the top of the day, they did not drop really any games except just the one because they weren't challenged. And they are showing us exactly why they want to be pushed further and they want to push themselves further into the national championship and to pretty much show to the voting committee, hey, we deserve a spot and here is why we deserve one. They're playing incredibly well. Now the gold lead is in their favor because that shutdown from Juicebox went over as well. So now I would say at this point that San Jose State University are in control of this game. Granted, before I get way too excited, there is a universe where Victor and Ezreal can still scale and do things in this game. We've seen what Ezreal's can do once they hit those really crucial item breakpoints because Ezreal doesn't have 2 items as of yet. Stinky does have 2 items, but once those other items start coming in, Ezreal is going to be able to kind of be a lot more kitey and annoying and a lot more damage as the game goes later and later. But I will say for right now, with the way that SJSU are playing, in the way that they are like starting fights on their terms, getting really good picks as well, and forcing the issue is why that they are currently over 1,000 gold up, and probably in a little bit if they take a tower like 2,000 gold up. Right now we have the next straight coming up in a minute. This will be soul point for them if they go for it. I don't anticipate they'll go for Otacon yet. Wow, this is actually the first voracious I've seen in quite some time because it's always ruinous now that I'm thinking about it. But it's something that I think they're going to hold off to getting as up. Juicebox might be dead again.
Juicebox is going to get caught out here. Went has made the trip up from the mid lane. Dark Lord is waiting. The grand challenge was issued, but no vitals are going to be procced. No healing is going to come through from Juicebox. He's going to parry away the grand starfall, or not the grand starfall, rather the ASO. He uses the Hex Gate, but he's got a whole lot of people waiting for him. The team play right now from San Jose State has been fantastic. They make the play, they get the pick, they lose their tier 1, but now they can move over, get control of this river. The enemy junglers on the opposite side of the map, they're going to be able to get themselves soul point.
Oh my God.
They just found the enemy mid laner as well. Fitz, what are we doing? We're way out of position. Evan's going to get the chomp, find himself the kill. Hextech Drake is next on the menu as we see the cross map happening on the other side of the map. Cuddling Kraken and Dark Lord, they get the tier 2. That's plus 700. But look at Went, he's spraying all the Starfire down onto the Leona. Dark Lord doing some good damage. This is a very close 2 versus 2. Kevyi trying to keep Went safe, but there is the denial of the damage.
Oh my God.
Pantheon is popping off. All out is going to be utilized by Kevyi. Mach is now here. He's going to be able to grab the shields, but Cassante is doing a whole lot of damage, and Cuddling Kraken's next. The flash Q3 is going to land. The Leona will drop, and it will be 2 to the Cassante, 2 for 1, plus a Drake on the other side.
Now, I will admit, as we are not done yet, as Juicebox is going to try to be do Fiora things. Ezreal is here.
It's going to be another 2 versus 2. Grand challenge is issued. That has somehow come off the cooldown. Juicebox taking a lot of damage, but M2 always tries to support him from the back line. They did get the Otacon, though. They have the false lives. I just realized this. So if Kevyi does go down, it's not going to really matter in the end. But he's got the Karma shielding. Oh my gosh, he's able to tank for so long. This Ezreal does 0 damage, dude. But he's trying to hit the Mystic shots. He's trying to utilize his True Shot barrage. It's going to land. He's just going to take down the Fiora. What the hell is this champ? Cue all the copy pastas possible. Showmaker knew this from the very start. This champion with the Karma by his side is disgusting.
Oh, I saw the vision. And hilariously, the Rift Herald was dropped as well, but I think because it was getting ready to run out. But man, oh man, they're just not able to get through the Karma Shield because Ezreal doesn't have that second item as of yet. I think if the Merman was there, that fight's a little bit better. But my God, that Brimblevest was doing work. Fiora was just not able to heal like she wanted to. I'm actually surprised he didn't do it all right for Thornmail yet. But that means with those 2 kills, it's only done 834 damage with Triforce. Oh, that's unlucky. I'm so sorry. And That's so tragic. But the Baron is being started right now. They have the Otacon buff, so even if they all die here,
He's gonna look
this
for the
is
steal.
cheeky.
Oh, he's dead. He did not time it properly. Dark Lord's going to get over the wall. He's going to try and take down Went, but the Stormbringer is going to bring him down. Went grabs the kill. And DBZ, this game looks pretty cooked. I'm going to be honest, for UC Berkeley, they had it kind of in the palm of their hands at the start, but it's just been fight after fight going San Jose State's way. They have the Manamura on their Ezreal now, but it just feels like it's too late. It's 26 minutes. The scaling is in for this squad. The Cassante is unkillable. The A-Soul is unlocked. They're forcing flashes off of Fitz. Went is now level 16, and they are relentlessly going forward. They know they have the false lives in their hands. An excellent usage of this voracious Otacon. San Jose State, as a team, have played a phenomenal game.
I don't even know what to say at this point. I mean, it's just like you said. We literally saw the triple kill go over at the beginning of the game. We're like, all right, that's really cool. Oh, Juicebox might be fine here. Nope, never mind.
No, he's dead. That's 4 people there, but Stinky's going to be dead as well. So
okay,
at the very least, the trade is acquired. Let's see how long Juicebox can actually delay. Can he get back towards his team?
He
is breaking ankles right now. Holy crap, the Fiora lives. That is insane. Parry is OP, and that's going to open the door cross map for UC Berkeley to get a tier 2.
All right, that is a little crazy. So we got the shutdown onto the Varus. The objective bendings are now going to fall off. Looks like we might fight this Volibear here. They see him.
Not stopping. We're not stopping. All of a sudden, UC Berkeley's turning it up here. They found Evan Lai caught with his pants down inside of the jungle.
Is he dead?
He's going to flash, but the Ignite is still going to take him down regardless of all that he uses. And all of a sudden, what the hell did UC Berkeley just do? They flipped the script. They flipped a switch, a panel in their control box. They are now popping off. They are now the ones on the offensive. And it's SJSU that lose a whole lot across the map.
All right, so we are experiencing what the kids call a banger game as of this moment. Sure, the score is 9-18. It's only at like 1,200 down now at this point. Oh my lordy, just looking at those gold leads across the map is, it looks like Fitz might be, never, Fitz is fine. Cassante surely can't one-shot a Victor, can he? Yeah, okay, maybe yes he can. But we were just kind of getting a glimpse at the goldies there for a second. Is we saw how far down that this Ezreal is compared to the Varus. 2,500 gold. That is insane. That's like pretty much almost a whole item down compared to this Varus. I do believe Varus has 3 items now, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Yep, he has 3 items. All right, cool. Ezreal is almost there. That shutdown actually helped a lot. But the fact that we have completely kind of gone night and day to how this game is going, and we're just getting all sorts of nonsense all over the map. So we need to roll it back a little bit. We need to roll it back just a hot minute back to when the Otacon was going down in that top lane fight. So we thought that, that the Cassante was going to die. But nope, because Karma's there and shielding and anti-heal, able to live. So that transitioned immediately after that play into the Baron. So the Baron ends up falling at that point. We thought that Dark Lord was going to kind of get that Q smite. Didn't end up happening. They get the Baron, and we're like, all right, the game is cooked. At this point, SJSU have the game in the bag, but they were like, nah, we heard you guys talking smack. UCal Berkeley immediately get 2 really good heads-up plays. We have Juicebox doing their thing in a side lane, being annoying, and they took that tower down. And then the shutdown on a Stinky, which it looks like they might be going to make a play right now, is actually the Arcane Shift will get the Ezreal to safety. And right now, the game plan is let Fiora do her thing. You guys just, if Cassante's not there, you pretty much win the fight. And from here, it's like we're waiting for this next streak because Mach is in now position.
We're just stepping forward in the front line. If we're Mach, and this might just be the end of it here for SJSU. Their backline is gone, but Went is still alive. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of the San Jose State University, but the Spartans are dropping low.
Oh my God, he's alive
as well. He flashes over the wall. He's able to escape, but now it's Evan in a 2-versus-1 around the middle of the map. This fight has broken out. We've seen so many 2v1s happen. Evan Lai is just a beast in this fight here. He might actually end up winning this. I don't know if they actually have the damage.
That's a lot of healing.
The healing is there. They're teleporting in. They're making sure the bear goes down. His Cuddly Kraken is going to be able to grab that kill. Juicebox also teleported from the top side play in the 2-versus-1 against Went and Kevy. The Hextech Drake will go their way. Soul denied from SJSU. And flip the script on its head, exactly like you were saying, DBZ. UCal Berkeley is looking pretty solid right now. They have gotten back to where they want to be. 3 items on their Ezreal, a death cap loading here for Fitz. They're back in their groove. 300 CS on this Fiora. We've got a game on our hands.
Oh man, 30 minutes in, and that also is the denial of the Hextech Soul that UC Berkeley has just done. I don't know what's been going on the past like 5 minutes. It's just like we've been nonstop fighting for the past like 4.5 minutes up till this point, where it's just been back and forth. It's 30 minutes and the gold is like 100 gold apart. We have a 0-3 Fiora, but it doesn't matter because she's gotten like 4 towers all on her own. So it's like, does it even matter that like we have a killless Fiora? No, because she's been drawing pressure. Before that last fight started, Cassante had to go up there and stop her from getting the inhibitor tower, which I still failed. That top inhibitor is currently exposed. And we had a moment where we had ASO had to TP out because it was too low, so he was not able to provide the rest of that DPS. And man, oh man, oh man. I just have to say, just like, it's incredible how well these two teams have been playing over the course of this game. We were literally saying 3 minutes ago that this game is cooked, but UC Berkeley are just giving us a, oh, wait, pause. There might be a death brush.
Cuddly Kraken is doing the classic support there and just kind of coin flipping the division here. Can I put this ward inside of the brush, or is there going to be 25 people waiting for me? As Stinky has to use flash juice blocks on the flank there, getting involved in the team fights, not just the one-trick pony in the side lane. He's being able to make some things happen for the squad. And Varus without the flash is going to be under a whole lot more threat. We got Baron control here for UC Berkeley. Teleport available for Kevgi, who is still pushing in that bot side right now, fixing up the side lanes. Grand challenge is used onto Evan Lai, who just runs on away and baits that ultimate out. So Juicebox gonna be without that one for the next couple of seconds. It's the waiting game. It's the dance around the Baron. We could be in for like a 40-minute banger here, DBZ, but the way things are going now, things are slowing down. These teams are playing a whole lot more cautiously, but waiting for someone to step too far forward, and Evan is going to be that person, maybe. Oh my goodness.
I thought they were going to do it.
Bro did not know what was waiting for him around the corner there. I don't even think UC Berkeley had vision though, so I'm not even sure if they could jump on him, but now with the push in the bot side, they have to fix their side waves, and the Baron is not going to be started. That play is going to be saved for a later date.
I'm just so curious right now, just like what the comms are like between both of these teams. We're about 33 minutes into the game right now, as looks like we're going to go ahead, clear all of this vision up here on the top side. They know at this stage of the game that it gets to a point where if more than one member falls, it guarantees a major objective, and probably if they get a really good fight near one of their bases, it actually spells the end of the game. So both these teams know that they have to play a lot more cautiously now versus about 20 minutes ago, I will say, when we were kind of just scrapping every 35 seconds or so. So now it's really up to one of these teams. We're going to take it back to what we talked about in the draft, where UCal Berkeley, they do have Engage, but it's not as good as SJSU's because they have the Cassandra, they have the Volibear who can just kind of run it in as well. They have the Chain of Corruptions. Now on the other side, you have the Leona ultimate, yes, but also all you have is the Pantheon stun as well, as Juicebox will meet Evan here in the jungle, just kind of walk their way out of here, not too much to come out of that. And I think we're going to either wait for this next Drake or see if we're going to get a flip, because I can foresee SJSU wanting to flip the Baron for the next Drake. That's a possibility. Now, both teams do this pretty quickly, I will add, unless we get Stinky out here. He has no flash, remember? Oh,
we got fights starting up. Both teams wanted to start a fight. We got Grand Starfall, we got Evan Lai on the flank. Dark Lord jumps in, but Dark Lord immediately has to flash out.
Ezreal!
The Chains of Corruption. He's out of position. Frontline Ezreal, my friends, does not work, and you're seeing right here why that is the case. He falls. Cuddly Kraken jumps back on in. Ready to play the Grand Challenge. Is going to drop the Volibear.
Oh my god!
Getting deleted immediately. The damage from Stinky is absolutely insane. This Varus is unloading from the backside.
God, it's alive still!
Karma is providing the shields. SJSU, they outfight, they outperform, they take down UC Berkeley with 3 left alive. They might just go straight for the Baron.
Oh, I heard lots of pings coming out, so I guess they decided not to go for that. I think the plan here is, we're a little low. Sure, Kazanti could front lane for it, but it's better to not risk the Victor stealing that from them. So they will just go ahead, reset, spend a little bit of their gold. I think they're going to actually get the Drake Soul instead, since that's a more safer bet. And honestly, Hextech Soul for this team is incredibly strong. I mean, it's strong for both teams, But the fact of them having the first avenue to it, they will go ahead and take this off the map. There is no vision. Now, unless if Fitz steals this, I will probably throw something at a wall because there's no shot you should let a Victor take this from you. They don't do it that fast, so there is a universe where it is possible. Please do not make me have to break something, I swear.
Barrage. Okay, well, we got the piercing arrow down, and that will be the secure. They actually, yeah, they didn't have a so that was a little bit dangerous as... Yeah, Juicebox is teleporting in. That's not going to get a whole lot other than a teleport from Went himself, who was maybe worried that the rest of his team would fall. But we got ourselves a Hextech Drake, or a Hextech Soul, rather, in the hands of SJSU. And honestly, that probably speeds up this game a whole lot. I feel like if UC Berkeley got that Drake and we had to wait another 5 minutes for
we're doing this
down,
again.
and maybe another 5 minutes for the Elder Drake, then we might be here all damn day, DBZ. But right now, it's the Soul in the hands of SJSU. It is the control over the river for UC Berkeley. Again, the dance. Again, waiting for that fight to start out.
Okay.
Xbox is playing very aggressive, looking for a plan to have life.
Okay.
To send. It's massive. It's on to everyone. Wentz has sent the nuke down to the river, and the victims are the side of UC Berkeley. But now he's in an awkward position. Ip2O has found the Essence Flux. He misses out on the Mystic Shot. Dark Lord on the other side of the fight is going to be corralled by three different people. Stinky's got the lethal tempo. This man is firing. That arrow's got infinite, or the bow's got infinite arrows. Juicebox is trying to fix the wave. SJSU, they win the fight. They got 4 alive. And now they can probably start thinking about this Baron on top of it. It's going to be found, and Mock finds the kill. SJSU do it again.
That was incredibly unlucky. The sweeper catching him out there, and Pumpsy just not able to escape there. Now Fiora was going to go on the side lane. This is the Baron for the side of San Jose State. I still feel like, even though that, like, yes, they're 4,000 gold up, the problem is they can't get to Stinky, and that's like the big problem right now, is they don't have the like achievement that can get to that backlane as efficiently as a Volibear or a Cassante can. So at this point, I mean, they're just starting to run out of... Actually, hold on. Rewind. What did I say during draft? What did I say during draft? If these two beef balls get too tanky, there is not much that UCal Berkeley can do. And as we see, you know, the Jack show, yeah, I mean, the Varus Classic, I mean, you're just not killing that guy. He's going to be so much harder to get to, and it's really up to this Ezreal to be able to dish out that AD DPS. I mean, sure, Pantheon can try to do it, but with what he has to deal with in his space, he's just not going to be able to do that. And it's unfortunate that this Ezreal has been bullied this hard at the point of this game, sitting at 2-6 right now, and just not really been able to have that agency to be able to carry some of these later fights. And we're seeing that right now at 38 minutes in the game. Baron has also been taken. They're going to start breaking open some of these outer structures. At least what's left of them is just the top tier one. So I imagine now it's just, you know, push these waves in, don't be where Fiora is, and just force her to have to come, because sure, she might just be a nuisance and open their base up, but what's the point when you're pushing against the Baron?
It's definitely the longer route that SJSU is taking. They're taking the side lane approach. They're knocking down the towers. They're looking for dives. Again, they have Stormbringer available for Evan, so that tower will be turned off immediately and won't be a problem. And I'm sorry, like, Ezreal is not doing any damage at this point. He's completely outscaled. It is UCal Berkeley that is completely outscaled. They have no hope in these fights.
Okay.
They do have to just play for the side lane push. I do like what they're doing right now. They're canceling the recalls. They're making sure Juicebox can go toe-to-toe up here against Went, but that's not really the side lane matchup he wants. And as far as fights go, Varus has a Jack show. Like you said, he's got Terminus, so he's stacking up that armor and that magic resist. He's got a QSS. He's got Karma shields. This Varus is never, ever, ever going to die in these fights. It is impossible to bring him down with all the resistances that he has. This game has to be a Hail Mary with the macro play from UC Berkeley if they do want to pull this one off, because, I mean, the fights are just too tough for them at this point. The Cassante, the Volibear, like you said, he's too tanky. Wentz does too much damage. He's got himself a Seeker's Arm Guard to stay alive. If he gets threatened, he can go golden. And we got ourselves an Elder Drake coming up very soon here, and that's why you see these teams setting up around the bottom river.
Oh man, this is I also like to hilariously point out that Went has not upgraded the boots yet, so ail him out. This is why I say tier 3 boots are kind of useless. They kind of agree with me on that one. We have well over a minute and a half though towards this Elder Drake right now. Something that we need to kind of keep an eye on, is especially is bot lane vision right now. And both these teams, you know, they're trying to do what they can to get that going. I think our observer's flaming me a little bit. I know they're there, but they're not gonna go ahead and upgrade them most likely. I doubt it. If they do, it's because they're already done with their items. Speaking of which, there's the Zhonya's. So Went now has that extra agency to stay alive. I have to say, San Jose State, absolutely impressing me with how they've been going this game. Absolutely impressing me, because they've been just what's the word I'm looking for? They've been pushing the issue, rather being like, okay, we see a fight here. Oh, someone's out of position. Let's go in on them. Oh, wait, we have an advantage here, man advantage here. Oh, let's go for that fight. And every time they've done that, they've actually completely wiped the fights. Now, granted, yes, you know, Utah Berkeley have gotten their own their kills back and forth too. But right now, with that mid lane that was pushing, they gave up river control. They're 34 seconds, but they have to, you know, keep pushing the mid lane. Hope that from there that they'll be able to. Never mind, they're gonna start a fight.
Evan Lai is literally Usain Bolt on this Baron. There goes the Ezreal. That's it.
Oh my God!
He is gone. 5 versus 4 now on the map. The sky
oh!
and they will fall flat onto the face of UC Berkeley. Hex gates the wrong direction to try to escape, and you can just see the might of UC Berkeley in these team fights right now, while Juicebox does have his way in the side lane looking for this inhibitor. Again, the bane of the existence for SJSU. They could try and make a play on Kevi, and they could try and look to maybe even sneak the game here if SJSU isn't careful, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. They're jumping right on over towards that Elder Drake. Went and Kevi will do their jobs diligently. They'll take away the wave. Now with Elder secured here, Darnell, I want to see them win this game now. They've played well, they've won the team fights, and they are in a fantastic spot. And have been as Juicebox is going to play. He flashes, but Went goes golden. Great all out to buy some space, but Went
this is risky now.
He's flying on away. The Karma Shields are there, and Juicebox is going to go down now with the Elder in their hands. Evan Lai on the other side has slain the Pantheon. Juicebox now is finally going to fall. Wait, was the Elder Drake?
Wait! Did Pantheon steal that?
He did steal it. I was going to say, I was like, why aren't they getting executed? The Elder Drake was stolen. That is massive for UC Berkeley. That is the lifeline that they needed. Otherwise, I would say one push, it's GG.
Yeah, we gonna go back. We gonna go back. Hold on. How did he steal that?
Oh my goodness. That's crazy. Okay, well, let's see. All right, so they're doing this again. Oh, he ran Starfall's in. Look on the mini-map. He's on the other side of the map. He jumps on in.
Oh my God!
Wow, he just gets in and takes it. Giga Chad right here for the side of UC Berkeley. Dark Lord, being the Dark Lord that he is, and spoiling the plans of San Jose State there. That is about as big of a steal as you could get right now for them. The game is still tough, but it makes this defense a whole lot easier.
I absolutely respect that play for going the way it did. Oh my God, that was insane. All right, so the game goes on. We're 42 minutes in. This is about the average game time in a lot of competitive games nowadays. We're into those super late games. Gold leads really don't matter much anymore. We're getting the Baron start as well. This is, what, the 3rd or 4th Baron right now of this game, I think. So that's a lot of fun, but this should be going over to SJSU. There's really no contest they could do anyways. Who left has the Elder? Oh, never mind, we're dying.
Yeah, that's this is not good. You should not be up here. This is a big mistake being made. It's going to be 5v4 on the map. There's no chance that they were able to get into the pit, make that happen. But in the grand scheme of things, since the recalls are coming through, 45 seconds to go on the Leona, I don't think it's going to mean a whole lot. Not much else on the map other than towers, which brings me back to my point I was going to make, DBZ, when we were talking about before that Elder Steal went down and Juicebox got himself killed in the enemy base. SJSU has been ahead for a long time. They should have ended this game a while ago. I think the pressure that Juicebox has been creating in the side lanes has been the biggest bane for the side of SJSU here. They just cannot take him down. They cannot keep them all together for one 5v5 where they can ace them and then run it down and end the game here. So this has been quite annoying for San Jose State's side, and you know, they're having a hard time closing out these games, which can be a struggle for teams, even at the highest level, have trouble closing out games. So we're kind of seeing that right here. But again, barring anything crazy, this should be a San Jose State victory. It is their game to lose. The question is, how long is it going to take before they finally wrangle Juicebox down and get the rest of them down so they can finally approach that Nexus?
I definitely agree with you on that one. The problem with that too is that their top wave is pushing in. Top wave is currently pushing in with supers up there. So with that inhibitor probably coming up, I assume in the next minute or so. I actually don't know. This is where I really wish Spectator had like objective or inhibitor timers, because that would be really nice. So, you know, if Riot Games is listening, please give us that. That would be really fun. So we're getting over to Cresta to that 45-minute mark. We are super late into this game. Juicebox still in these side lanes as that top lane is pushing. We're not expecting to see Juicebox in really any fights. I swear to God, if we get another Elder, I don't know what I'm going to do, because this is a long game. We see there's just no moves on the map because they just don't know where the Fiora is. They have to be wary. As like, if she shows up anywhere on the map, she could probably just take our base from us. So we have to be careful before we just 5-man brute force down a lane. Someone always has to answer top. Someone always has to answer her as well. So it kind of puts them in this awkward position for the next couple of minutes. I assume at least the inhibitor should be coming up maybe in the next minute or so. And they don't get too much off this Baron, which is kind of the sad part. That Baron is going to fall off here in the next like few 30 seconds or so, I believe. And right now it's just, okay, well, we just need to make a play somewhere. In this case, kill the Fiora, and I think from there it's pretty easy peasy lemon squeezy from there. And it looks like they might just do that.
Juicebox is going to dash into a whole bunch of different people. He definitely did not want to take that. He gets the blast cone, though. He's over the wall, but this is the flank that they need. Evan Mai is here. He does have to try and play out the parry. He does land the stun. Grand challenge is issued. Juicebox should be able to walk this one out. Dark Lord as well is trying to get over here, but he's walked through hell. And that hell is falling down upon his face. Went is doing so much damage. One kill already going to go down. Fitz is going to fall. If I'm SJSU, I want to end this game right here, right now. Teleport went on in. He's going to get his health back, take down this tier 2, push down the base, and look to put the UC Berkeley away once and for all. This is their prime opportunity to do it. We'll see if they can actually get that done here as the siege will continue onto the tier 3. They're hitting onto the tower as Juicebox, Cuddly Kraken trying to play frontline Zipper who definitely does not do the adequate amount of damage to eat through this massive front line that both Went and Stinky have standing before them. And now the big moment comes. Will they back off? Will they continue? The answer is going to be they're going to continue. They're going to look for the end of the game. The Karma Shields are doing a great job of keeping everyone healthy. They're turning off the towers. Oh my God, everybody's jumping on in. Into the back line goes Juicebox. He's looking for Went, but he cannot find him. Imtuo can do nothing to penetrate this front line. The Flash Q3 is going to and San Jose State University, they knock them all down. The Nexus Towers are off next, and if you thought this team from the Mountain West was going to fall to the number 3 team from the West, then you were wrong. SJSU take the first win of the day.
Woo! We get the fancy exploding Nexus at the end of the game as well. A 47.5-minute banger of a game that we got. Both of these teams, and that is a 61,000 damage Aurelian Soul. Oh, okay. So, wow, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, he is, Went was going off, and again, when Rumble is banned, you always have to ban Rumble against Went. We're going to see every team play against SJSU pay that tax. He's going to pull out the A-Soul. He's going to go crazy. He loves this champion as well. He's had so many good performances on it across the entire season. And Stinky as well on the Varus, pumping out the damage, practically unkillable in that game. And SJSU, they pull off the upset, but the one thing, I guess, if I'm nitpicking here, they had to end that game sooner. They had to find a way to get Juicebox out of their side lane and end that 10, 15 minutes earlier when they got the soul. That game is over. They've outscaled. If they find the win earlier, then I would say that was probably as clean of a game as you could hope for from SJSU's side. That's game number 1. We are going to cut to a very short break. We're going to come back for the next game. It's going to be between 2 different teams, so stay tuned for that. We got more action here in the Battle of the Bubble. Stay tuned for more.